Welcome to yet another video on Vento Nuevo's game Black Swan. In this video I'm going to cover another land combat, but in this case there's a fortress involved, and for the sake of the example we're also going to assume that the battle is taking place in rough terrain or in mud, which basically has the same effects. The die I've put here with a 2 on it, in this case, means that the first 2 hits are ignored. That is, one is taken by the fortress, and the other one is taken by the rough terrain or the mud. The German aircraft will not have a hit bonus because as long as the defender has a fortress, units do not receive a hit bonus, and by the way, in rough terrain, a unit never receives a hit bonus. Other than that, very importantly, if the defender has a fortress, all defending units fire first. So let's just see how this combat would play out. It's a hypothetical example because in the current game I'm playing, this matchup didn't actually occur, but I just wanted to show you how a combat in rough terrain with a fortress would actually work, or mud. So first the fortress would roll 2 dice, and the fortress is unopposed and it's the defending unit. The fortress is always the defending unit, and that one therefore does get a hit bonus. So I'm going to roll 2 dice on a 4+. Well, the result is 2 1s, so there are no hits there. But now, as I said, normally speaking, you would get the German air unit to fire, but since the defender has a fortress, all defending units fire first. So the defender could get a hit bonus, by the way, but in this case it doesn't either because of the rough terrain. Now, the Russian artillery rolls 4 dice, hitting on 5s and 6s. That's 1 hit, as you can see. There's 1 5. So the hit is taken on the German artillery because when both sides have the same unit, then hits are taken on the same unit. If more hits are scored, then the unit can actually suffer. Then any additional hits are suffered by the strongest unit, which in this case, had it happened, could have been either the tanks or the infantry. Normally speaking, you would choose the cheaper unit. But for instance, if the tanks had already fired, then you might want to take it on the tanks, so the infantry could still fire at full strength. But, you know, those are all things you have to take into account. Okay, so let's just see what the Russian tank is going to do, because as I said, first, all defending units fire. That's a 3, so that's a miss. And now the Russian infantry gets to roll 3 dice. Hitting on 5s and 6s is 1 6, which is suffered by the German infantry. Well, only now do the Germans get to return fire. First, by rolling 4 dice for the aircraft. But as I said, only hitting on 5s and 6s normally because the defender has a fortress, and the terrain is mud as well, as I said, so there is no hit bonus. So 5s and 6s. That's 1 hit, and it has to be, it's absorbed. So this one goes to 1. There's 1 free hit left, so to speak. Now the Germans roll 2 dice for the artillery. Those are 2 misses. I would have hit on 5s and 6s normally. 5s and 6s again for the tank. That's 1 6. So only now would hits actually start counting. And now we're going to roll 3 dice for the German infantry, hitting on 5s and 6s. And those are 3 misses. So as you can see, it's very difficult to dislodge any defender if they have a fortress, and especially if it's still combined with mud conditions. All hits would have to be suffered by the fortress itself from now on, had they suffered any hits, and only then would you actually start hitting the other units. So this combat just goes to show just how difficult it is to dislodge any defenders in anything but optimal conditions. Thank you for watching, and I hope this video teaches you how combat works with fortresses in rough or mud terrain. Thank you for watching.